you could ask almost anyone in the school, and they would say that the months from probably the beginning to March to like the end of the year is just the worst. Everything falls into this period of about 10 to 12 weeks, and it's horrible. We're all running on no sleep, lots of coffee. It's bad. And we know that. I mean, we experience it. Like, I don't want to bring back some bad memories, but the SAT was last Saturday, and I know right before that, spring sports started, and there's more standardized tests, and more sports games, more of that to come, and we know it. And we do all know the bad health effects of lots of stress. I mean, we all know that it decreases your immune function, it contributes to anxiety and depression, it causes insomnia. We all know that. And unfortunately, as teenagers wrestling through the competitive college admissions process, there is really not much we can do about it. But we can do something about how we choose to deal with it. I feel like in running towards the future, sometimes we forget to stop and think about ourselves. You can put it under the really, really broad term of self-care, which really you can define however you want, but is kind of formally any activities that you do that actively help improve your health. And those things they can be really, really simple. Like, I'm not even necessarily telling you to sign up for a gym membership or go out for a spa massage or something. And if that's what you think will help contribute to your health, then by all means go ahead. But even something as simple as sitting down at the end of the day when you're ready to go to bed and just writing out what you feel, just getting everything out onto a piece of paper so you can look at all of the emotions, all of the stress, everything that you have been dealing with this whole day, and think, man, I made it through all of that. I'm pretty good at this. And the one thing that I've heard the most about self-care is that you feel lazy while you're doing it. You don't feel productive. It's kind of selfish. And honestly, there's a big difference between doing something because you need it and doing it just because you want it and being fully aware that it will hurt other people. And as for laziness, sometimes you do need to be a little bit lazy. I mean, sometimes the best thing that you can do for yourself is just sit on the couch and watch all the episodes of your favorite TV show when you were 7 years old, because that's something I do every once in a while, and it helps. I want to break down your health into 3 specific areas, and I guess the most obvious one is physical health. I mean, we have this one body. If it's not in proper condition, what are we going to do? I mean, we literally can't do anything. And I mean, obviously I could sit here and lecture to you about how you should be exercising more, you should be eating the right kinds of food, you should be drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, and honestly, we've heard that way too much. I mean, all of these things are important, but even something like sitting down on the floor of your bathroom and putting moisturizer all over your body just because you like how smooth your skin feels, and getting to know the skin of your elbows and behind your knees is something that will make you feel so much better about yourself and remind you that you are a tangible thing that is not a GPA and an extracurriculars list and college essays, and that you are a tangible human being that can be touched and felt. And that's something that I think we need to remember. And recently, we've gotten a lot of coverage for this, but your mental health is something that I cannot stress enough. You have to look after your brain. I mean, you may have a working body, but without a working brain, you will also not be able to do anything. You can kind of break mental health down further into two other categories, which would be, I guess, lastly, but obviously not last in terms of importance, is your emotional health, which is really just all of the social interactions that you have throughout your day. And honestly, even if you are the most introverted person in the world, you still need the intimate contact of someone in your life, whether it might be your best friend or your parents, your siblings, even a pet. I mean, just grabbing your cat or dog and sitting there for a couple minutes, it brings so much joy to you to remember that you are loved by someone and you are depended upon. And I guess another thing that goes with that would be examining your relationships with other people. Think about all of your friendships and all the people that you hang out with on a daily basis and what that does for you. Because sometimes, I know I have bonded with people through our mutual suffering, and that's not necessarily a friendship dynamic that you want to have. And sometimes I feel like we get stuck in this constant competition of who is taking the hardest classes, who slept the least last night, how many cups of coffee somebody drank before they came to school. And it's not a healthy comparison, because clearly what is sustainable for somebody else may not be sustainable for you. I mean, I know I cannot run on weeks of 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night, but if you can do that and it's working for you, I mean, I won't say it's good for you, but if you're gonna do it, do it. I mean, in spending time with that competition, over time, in the beginning, you may think it's good for you to be around competition, but after a while, you might realize that you're starting to internalize some of that stress that they're putting on you, and it just contributes to just how you're feeling in general. But really, I think what I'm trying to say is taking time to take care of yourself really is about doing what you need at that time. I mean, if you need just a good cry and just let out everything, kind of, or if you want to scream and punch a pillow, please go ahead, because you're going to feel refreshed and, well, maybe not refreshed, but you're going to feel like you've got at least some of your emotions out, and that you can go back to your work, you can go back to your stuff, and you can get it done, because you've kind of put your needs out of the way, and now you can focus on what you need to do. And lastly, I just want to make it clear that going back to the competitive college admissions process, your grades and your extracurriculars And all of that stuff does not matter. But as I heard from a presenter just last week, nobody is going to bury you with your SAT score. You will be okay. And I guess keeping that in the back of your head is something to just get you going. Thank you.